Oh, so you were making jokes in Nebraska.
I'm preaching on Sunday church.
On Sunday, and you said, we went to and had runzas. Y'all, those runzas will give you the runzas. And that whole room went like this. What's up, everybody?
Oh, yeah. Kool-Aid Man here.
Welcome to the Tug of Mort.
Guys.
My friend just told me that I look fancier than him. We're both literally wearing tennis shoes, jeans, and a sweatshirt.
I don't know. It's just that it's one solid red color. I feel like I'm like nap ready. I look nap ready.
I always think that the solid is more dressy.
Well,
because this is like a graphic, so that makes it not dressy.
Bing, guys,
you
welcome.
You can preach in yours.
Really?
Yes, this is where
Except
you and
at more
I
church because the stage is too hot.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I would say this is a preachable outfit. This is not. It's too distracting and casual.
Really?
Because of the tiger.
Okay.
I don't know. This is what.
My wife's calling me.
Uh-oh. Welcome to the Tug of Mort.
What do I do? Do I call her back?
Text her and say, filming a podcast. Do you need me? And then she'll be like, I always
Hey,
need
baby,
you.
I'm filming a podcast. Do you need me to call you back right now? Question mark.
All right.
See what she says.
Conversation between two friends.
We're talking about where we are and where we want to be. It's this constant tension.
The tug,
you're
the
never
fight.
satisfied with where you're at.
Nope. You always want to step into more or receive more or have more or choose more.
Get Titus's jacket from the church, please.
Okay, there it is.
So that means Titus left his jacket somewhere.
Well, you know, because it's about to get real cold.
Oof. Guys, I'm mad. I'm mad. I've lived in Texas since 2001.
You've lived in Texas longer than you lived in Michigan. I know, I just blew your mind. It's true, though.
I'm old. Weird. Okay, I've lived in Texas now for over half of my life.
Correct.
But I still get annoyed every winter when people start planning to have snow days a week in advance. Today, it's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday. This will come out on Thursday.
In staff meeting this morning, the whole team is telling me we're going to have to cancel church on Sunday. And they're all pulling their phones out and look at the weather app and asking to call some Aaron to look at the Doppler, blah, blah, blah. They're like, Pastor, it's going to be precipitation. It's going to be 21 degrees. And I'm like, we can't cancel church yet.
Yeah. They were just making...
And then I'm kind of like, so? If they die, they die.
No, that's not how he feels. He loves and cares about you and your safety very much.
But the other people. If you're listening to Tom, if you're on the tug team, you know how to drive.
Yeah, oh, that's probably true. But we have matured in our thinking through the years.
I haven't.
There have been, yes, you have.
I haven't. My arm's been twisted.
Well, that's okay.
I've submitted.
There it is. And so
to these Texan and Oklahomans.
Pay attention if
fear.
you are a part of More Church, because it's coming out on Thursday. We don't know yet, still probably, because we're not the kind of people who, like, do you remember the one time they canceled school before and then it didn't even snow?
Yeah, every time in Texas.
And so we're not going to do that. But because it's supposed to start Friday night, Saturday, we will know sometime by Saturday midday whether or not we're going to cancel, unless it all comes in the middle of the night, Saturday night. We wake up Sunday morning, we can't get out of our driveway. But
yeah, but like
pay
what
attention.
level? This is the problem. Is what level? Is it like if the neighborhoods have a little snow on the roads, then we have to cancel, or is it like if the bridges get those ice bumps that Texas, then we have to cancel? But
correct.
This is the part that I'm like,
and that's the struggle. I told him, I was like, we actually have not. Last year we did not have any snow events,
right?
And so we've not been in this building yet with any snow events, or ice events,
it's the most Texas statement.
Yeah, sleet and rain. I don't know.
Growing up in Michigan, I actively remember my bus sliding off the road into a ditch.
Yeah,
and
that's
just,
not allowed here.
Just sitting in the bus waiting for a tow truck to pull us out and then drive us to school.
They cancel.
No, I know.
School
I'm
in
saying
Texas if it's too cold for the kids to be at the bus stop.
This is crazy town. Michigan, we would have just never went to school for 4 months.
You and I now have to cross many bridges and construction in order to get here. And so it is different than in the past, meaning not just us, our whole congregation in church come from multiple directions. So we're just going to have to play. I'm being not optimistic or pessimistic. I'm just being like super like real of like, we will see what happens and we will let you know.
It's annoying. It's annoying for me. You know why it's the most annoying? Is because I have a message I'm going to preach I'm super excited about. And so I spend all this time all week and I'm like
it'll already
excited
be ready
to
for the
teach
next week, so it'll be awesome.
Yeah, leftovers.
No, it's not. That's so absurd.
It's no longer fresh manna.
Okay.
We canceled, so the Holy Spirit's like, nah.
I don't think that's how it works at all.
It's not. I don't think it is either.
It's not. He doesn't think that either, guys.
I'm
He's
just joking, but I'm not happy at the potential of having to cancel church.
Well, why
on
don't you
Sunday.
take your giant hammer and go yell at the storm and the weather? Tell
got
us,
a fist
Pastor,
hammer.
about your gift that you bought for yourself.
I got a fist hammer. It's really a hammer. It weighs 4 pounds. It'll knock you
But
out.
what does it mean?
It's nothing. It's just a hammer. See, it has a flat spot.
It doesn't have a meaning?
No.
Oh, I thought you had. It's like why I didn't ask you when you brought it in here. I thought I'm going to wait for the podcast to ask him to
so
give me the deep
I
meaning.
saw a guy that made one of these that's like great big, like a sledgehammer, and it weighs like 15 pounds,
Yeah.
but he sells them for like $1,000.
Oh, geez.
And so then I saw this one on Amazon for I think 30, and I was like, happy birthday, trust him.
Happy birthday to me.
So I bought it. I collect
Okay.
hammers. There is a hammer I want,
Oh, okay.
but I've been afraid to say it because it's so absurdly expensive. It's $300.
What is it?
Martinez brand. They make like a really high-end construction
Yo, Martinez, sponsor him.
hammer, titanium hammer handle.
Okay.
But I haven't uttered it. But now I did because Christmas and my birthday just passed. So now there's no reason for anyone to.
Somebody might want to get you a late birthday gift.
Yeah, but don't. It's $300. Going with 5 friends.
Okay. That's a good idea.
So next year,
This is what McKinley has asked for her birthday is for a bunch of friends to go in to buy her an absurdly expensive pair of shoes. So it's ridiculous.
let's talk about McKinley's shoes. McKinley had Ninja Turtle feet on Sunday. She's up there leading worship. I look down at her feet. They look like Ninja Turtle
These
toes.
are the ones she wants
McKinley.
the actual high-end version of. Andrew,
me
are
tell
they
you something.
cute? Are they? Oh, they've grown on you. You shouldn't
Listen.
buy clothes that have to grow on you.
Here's a zoom in picture of Ninja Turtle feet. Here is a zoom in of the flippers of the penguin from Batman. Any man that sees those, here's a picture of McKinley's shoes. Any man that sees those shoes doesn't think those are hot. We're like,
This is the part.
what is happening?
This is
those
the
look
part
like
with
those look like
Trustin.
cow
This is
hooves.
the part I keep trying to help him for 15 years of friendship. We don't dress for you.
Well, you dressing for the barnyard with those shoes on.
Girls dress for girls. Girls dress for fashion. Girls dress for trends, not for guys. Now, I will take it back.
So ballet shoes with the toes sewed together.
It's a
She got
current.
mitten shoes.
Andrew, he said, "Oh my gosh."
McKinley up there with mittens on her feet, jumping around.
They are like mittens. That's what I told her because you have to buy special socks that have a cutout for your toe.
Dumb,
big
and they're
toe.
expensive as a mug.
They are, and so I'm like, okay, but
You
maybe
can go buy a whole year's
Hey,
supply of shoes.
I believe in you and your hammer. I believe in her and her shoes. I hope that people come together and buy you guys the gifts that you want. See, that's
If someone
nice.
buys McKinley those shoes before someone buys me that hammer, forget everybody. Oh, speaking of everybody, someone's been tomming around town.
Oh yeah.
Now this guy took it to a whole nother illegal level. It was illegal.
Illegal level. He used the power of relationship to manipulate. Just kidding. Clay Baker got Easton to unlock the podcast room and let him in so he could tom around town in the podcast room. Ready? Here's his post.
Good job, Clay. You
Good
got
job.
us.
Good job. You used your persuasiveness and your powers to get something that you wanted.
Nailed
so
it.
We're
I'm
gonna have
impressed.
for you.
I'm impressed, brother.
Yes, we are impressed with you.
So here comes a hat, your direction.
Next, maybe you and Clay can wrestle.
Unless we cancel church, then you don't get it.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to do it the next week. But isn't Clay inviting you to the wrestling ring?
Yeah, he wants me to come and be a semi-professional wrestler.
I think this would be amazing. So maybe the next time
That is so absurd. Hey, you know what? A lot of people from the church would come.
they would all come. What if we had one in the lobby? You
wanna set
versus
up-
Clay? No? Okay. Clay's like, Whitney, stop talking.
Dude, I would wreck that fool.
Clay, see them fighting words, Clay. You got to come defend your honor.
Let me tell you something, brother.
I've been sick. Sorry.
Guys, Whitney should have stayed home.
No,
I
I'm
tried.
better now. I know.
I text her this morning. It's Tuesday. She didn't come to church on Sunday.
Nope.
She stayed home all day yesterday. I text her, hey, friend, take the day off. If you're not feeling good, I'd rather you be 100%.
I feel better.
She'd been in here coughing.
No.
We were in staff
I
Devo
know.
this morning, and I look over and Whitney's sitting over there like this. She's staring into the
I
abyss.
was listening, but
Nuh-uh.
yeah, I was just.
Nuh-uh.
I'm like back to like 60% probably.
This is why y'all are this is why y'all are better than us.
Why?
Because if I'm 60%, nope.
Yeah, you are good at taking off
No, I got the man flu.
for sickness.
I
Well,
know
that's true. I was
man
gonna say,
flu, I'm down.
You're just down. Girls were like, I'm 60%. I can go.
Dude, I'm not. I'm not
But,
powering through.
I did have to, this is a tug of war situation. I did have to convince my own self to stay home on Sunday. I felt like garbage on Sunday.
Whitney, I don't think she texted me Sunday morning.
I don't think I've
I'm not
ever done that.
I don't think she ever has.
I don't think so.
I've done it,
Two or three in 15 years.
but those are like, I'm about to preach. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I can't do it.
Oh, you've only done that once? The preach thing?
The preach thing once.
But
One and a half.
One and a half. We made you go home, but that's happened twice.
Yeah.
You're done. Sit
Yeah.
out. We'll play it back. But yeah, it's weird that like even though I know, I don't feel like any internal like what will Trustin think. I don't feel that
You just
anymore.
like being here.
But I just have an internal like I'm fine. I can go. I will go.
You just don't want to go to hell for skipping church.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Because
was
we
like,
have a little trauma.
exactly. So I was like, what is wrong with me? Just don't go. You don't need to go. And then yesterday was like, nope, I'm still not better. Today I thought I was doing good. And it's just getting later in the day. It's 3:30. So when it gets later, I'm just like, okay. So by tonight, sorry, love. Sorry, husband.
Well,
I'll
Aaron,
be
I told
out.
her we don't have to film a podcast. She says, yes, we're going to do it. And I was like, you're going to film a podcast and then go home and be dead. And
I got to give the
Aaron's
people
gonna be
what they want because you got to write a sermon for the church that we're not having.
Aaron's going to be like, thanks, Trustin. Thanks for making my wife smile on the podcast for
No,
50
he knows
minutes.
me. He knows me because on Saturday night, he's like, I'm going to text him. I'm going to text him and tell him you're not coming. I was like, no, you're not. This is my job. This is not your job. I will text him if I decide. Look, now I'm coughing. And then I didn't. You know what happened? The cough. God had to send the cough. This is not real theology. But God had to send the cough because I was being defiant and didn't want to take off. But the cough is what made me like, I can't go on Sunday morning.
Should be over there hacking up a lung. But yeah, when I'm sick, I'm out.
Sorry.
I'm done. I can't push through. Oh, you want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
The four of us, Rachel, Aaron, and I, the four of us,
Yes.
me and Rachel and Aaron, we got invited to go do a marriage conference in Nebraska.
Oh, you had COVID on that one, I'm pretty
No, but
sure.
you were sick too.
I was super sick.
And so the four of us go,
Mm-hmm.
and like predominantly, when the four of us speak, Whitney and I are talking 75%.
We're the predominant communication.
Rachel and Aaron got great stuff to say. We're big mouths.
Yes, correct. We just cut them off.
And so we go to this marriage conference, and we're doing the whole thing. Oh, I'm preaching Sunday.
Yeah.
A bunch of services, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Friday night, all day Saturday, marriage conference. Me and her are sick. And so Rachel and
Like
Aaron,
fever, like coughing.
chills.
At one point, I had to get a cough drop, and like I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna cough on stage, and I'm gonna like cough, and I had to get it and be like, and like slowly breathe. Oh my God, it was so
Dude,
bad.
Rachel and Aaron were heroes. They
were
just
the
stepped in.
They covered it. You know why? Because we shut up long enough.
Yeah, probably what we should always do. I remember me and Aaron did a men's panel.
Mm-hmm.
It was like all the men and me and Aaron on stage, and I'm like, I'm about to die.
Like, what day is it? Where are we?
It's like real COVID. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
we were not
dying.
good.
And I'm just on stage with Aaron, and somebody asks a question. Pastor Trust, at the end we do Q&A. I have a question. I just remember looking at Aaron like,
Like, what'd he say?
dude. And so Aaron says, I don't know what Aaron said, but he answered it.
Yep.
And he
they
saved
think
it.
we're wonderful. They
They
had
think
us
we're
back,
wonderful.
so they love. Or,
They did?
Well, they had me come out for Mother's Day. Or
They
something.
think Whitney's wonderful.
No, I'm saying they had us come back. They love us, so
Yeah.
they're big fans of us.
Nebraska. They have
Yeah.
these horrible restaurants called Runzas. Runzas?
That's the worst. It's the worst sandwich you ever had.
And they're all excited about it. Oh, have you been to Runzas? It's like, it's the equivalent of, what's the name of the place? Long John Silver's.
Oh, it's worse than Long John.
But I'm saying
I
it's-
have like a nostalgia in my heart
Okay,
of Long John Silver.
minus all nostalgia.
Hush Puppies, so maybe that's why.
Okay, hush puppies, I
Yeah,
see you.
but
Dude,
do you remember that you tried to make a joke? You
Oh.
know this guy, he be jokey guy. I heard that you were super jokey guy on Sunday because people said you
This
weren't
Sunday?
there, so
Oh, yeah.
he was out of pocket because he knew you
yeah.
weren't going to kick
Well,
him under the table.
You know that thing I do? I've been saying it for years about when there's a but in the scripture.
I like big butts, but I cannot
And I
lie.
say, man, I need to do a Sir Mix-a-Lot series. I like big butts and I can't. But I said like a couple extra things. And then after that happened, I was like,
Where am I?
I'm just going
You
to
just
say
kept
some
going.
stuff.
You just said something.
I said, like if you're on your period, you can't even come to church. Because that's Old Testament.
Yeah.
And I got off stage and Rachel was like, you can't say that. She's like, you can say if you're in your menstrual cycle, but you can't say if you're on your period. You can't.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like, don't even say it.
They both told me that they were like, oh, now we know what it feels like for you when people look to you, because they were looking at us like, this guy, and we were just like, we don't know. It's like, it's okay. He just is having fun.
What did I say? I said,
so you were making jokes in
I'm
Nebraska
preaching on Sunday church.
on Sunday, and you said we went to and had runzas. Y'all, those runzas will give you the runzas. And the whole room went like this.
They did not laugh.
They did not laugh, and in fact, almost were like, get out of here.
It's like getting up in Texas and yelling the Cowboys suck.
Yes.
Like there's some dude that's going to hardcore boo you.
We were like, oh, it's funny. Ha ha ha. We had said it to like their executive pastor, and he laughed because courtesy, I guess. But they did not laugh. And I was like, and you were like, oh, I'm just joking.
It's like, ooh, my bad.
My bad.
Can I have a
God
runza?
loves you. That's what I remember. Okay, what else? Now we're going back.
I got all my birthday cards,
Oh, yeah, you had a bunch.
which our staff, I will not name names, Melee, forgot to give them to me on my birthday. And so I didn't get them until this week. I was like, Rachel, didn't they write me birthday
a bunch
cards?
of them.
And so Melee was like, oops.
Yeah.
But Melee has a lot of things she's doing.
She just left them on her desk.
And
She
so I
forgot.
read them this weekend. And thank you guys so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your words of
Very
encouragement,
nice.
taking some time. Y'all the best.
That's so good.
Really
Very
was.
good.
It really was beautiful.
Yes. It was great.
So many thoughts. So many people had so many great things to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. So good.
Okay, what else?
Do
We got any
Do
other?
you have the letdown, the birthday letdown? Like, it was my birthday, and now it's just a Tuesday.
No,
I don't
because I
know.
didn't really get too hyped. It was my boy A-Rod's birthday.
Oh, yeah, on
this week,
Sunday?
and I asked him what he did, and he was like nothing. And I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
right?
We just grow now. When you're grown now, it's not.
Here's what we did. We took the kids.
Yeah, you did that. That was pretty fun.
My brother-in-law last Christmas
Mm-hmm.
gave us a gift card to Kalahari.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took the kids to Kalahari just for one night and stayed there and hung out on my birthday. And so that was
That's
that was
super.
great.
Yeah.
The kids had fun, and
Yeah.
I stood there and watched them.
There you go. The kids had fun. I stood
You know
there.
what I'm saying? It's like a water park
Yeah.
video game place.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, me and Ty just played laser tag. That was super fun.
That's super fun. Yeah.
So we had a good time. I went to lunch
Was Sicky McGee over here?
Sicky. No, but you did good during lunch.
Yeah, I was doing good, but I knew something just felt off. And I was, so when that morning we were trying to decide whether to go to lunch or dinner, I was like, let's do lunch just in case something is wrong. Because I've been having allergies, but I be having allergies all the time. That's like whatever.
We went to Rachel and Aaron and I, and we went to a restaurant in
Pen to Paper?
Pen to Paper in Midlothian. It's legit.
It's very good.
It's very good. If you're looking for a date night, boom.
And it's great vibes. Yeah, I like it a lot. Our friends, the Elazariases,
El Azariases.
they took us there the first time, and then we were like, "Where isn't that the thing though? When you don't have anywhere to go, you have all these ideas of where you want to go, but then when you have a decision of like, we're gonna go somewhere, where should we go? You can't remember any of those places.
We're like, I don't want to drive that far.
yeah, or that.
That's what it
probably
was.
Also
It was
was
just-
that we were
it
all
was
like,
Saturday
It's a
afternoon.
Saturday, and we got to go to church tomorrow. All that. I don't know. So
I told Tyler a good date spot is to the Keg to go get the Keg burger.
that's when I'm. Whenever we
That will heal your sickness.
that will heal. You're right.
Aaron,
You're
take
right.
your girl to go get the Keg
Whenever
burger.
we used to bring our kids to youth when they were younger, and that's what we would do. We would go take them to youth, and then we would go to the Keg, because also they don't as much anymore. But they used to have a happy hour, and the burger was on a discount.
Dude, we need to get some sponsors up here on the Tug of War. What are y'all
we'd be
doing?
yeah, golly. And so they had like sliders, and they had all this food on like a discounted price during like a certain time. So we would drop the kids off, then we'd go eat, and then go get them from youth. And that was a great date night plan. So
Next year, Titus is coming to youth.
then you can do that.
And then see y'all suckers. I get a
Yeah.
date night with my wife
There
every
you
Wednesday.
go. Every Wednesday.
It only cost me 17 years of excruciating work. It's all it took me for the 2-hour date night.
It was so funny.
All right.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
So last episode,
Excuse me.
we had a bunch of thoughts, and then
yeah.
we ended up going down a rabbit hole of artificial intelligence takeover. And I've already heard that we freaked a couple of y'all out.
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
It's true. It's coming.
Yep,
The end is near.
that's true.
But one of the things that we wanted to get into was I don't know how to get into it intro-wise other than just saying it.
Yeah.
That as a leader, as someone who's stepping into more, and as you're being discipled, right, as you're growing your walk with the Lord, I think that there's an important piece to kind of live with in the front of your mind.
A mindset.
A mindset, and it's this. Maybe I'm not right. But I think that's the opposite of what our natural human thought process is.
We like to be
living with
smart.
like, you know what? I might have something to learn right now. Or my first inclination of this idea is probably a little bit off. And I think that one of the reasons that we've been able to grow, not numerically, grow as
In our
people
hearts, in
is
our
because
minds.
I kind of assume I'm missing something.
I was thinking as you're talking, I'm reminded of our friend Ty, who came and spoke at our youth camp last year. And I loved something he said when he was preaching. And it was something that I realized is kind of how we have applied a lot of logic to a lot of things in our life. But he would, instead of saying, I want to tell you something, he would say, I'd like to submit to you. And I love the idea that, like, as leaders, we can have ideas and thoughts and like opinions and all things, but are we like telling them always, or are we submitting them? And I think doing that is like, if you shift your mindset just that small, then you have the ability to open it up for
You're saying as the
conversation.
receiver.
Well,
For the giver or the receiver.
yeah, either one. Dang it. Sorry. Yes, either one, giver or receiver, because the way you and I dialogue with each other is we submit to each other. Not submit like
Yeah.
submission, but
Yeah.
hey, I have an opinion or an idea.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Here's what I'm thinking. And I'm just kind of like submitting it to you for your opinion too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm giving like space for you to then tell me, yeah, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, but what if also, and like ever since he said that last summer, it's just been rolling in my head as like, I wish we all talked to each other that way. I wish we all, not with our words, but in our hearts. Like
Yeah.
actually, because as leaders, we're really good at being like, no, this is the way it is. No, this is the way you should do it. And this is how you should handle it. And it's like,
There's a bunch of differences between situations.
yeah. And like understanding that I don't have every understanding. I don't know all the nuance. I don't have all the backstory. I don't have every bit of the detail of something. And like putting it in that perspective allows us to then be open to the interpretation of maybe I'm not all the way right in what
Yeah.
I think and feel.
Yeah. As a leader, there's been so many times that I'll be talking with somebody and their mind will be fully made up in what they're
Yeah.
thinking. And I know that what they want to do is like wrong, either biblically or
Right.
wrong for their like next step or wrong for their marriage or their kids or whatever. But when they walk in with that, like,
Yep.
my mind is made up. And then what we do as Christians, we throw Jesus juice on it. We're like, God said, no, he didn't.
Did he like actually
Like,
audibly
did the whole
like,
did Jesus with his nails
right?
in his
The
hands show
hand
up in your
came down
bedroom?
and wrote it on the wall?
Is you sit there and you're like, well, what do I say if you already know everything?
Right.
You know, the biggest fights Rachel and I ever got in is because we were both 100% right, not budging.
Right. Right.
You know what it's called? Pride. Pride.
You got the nail, hit the nail on the head. That is the piece of humility as a leader, that if you will not accept it, you hit a lid.
Yeah.
And you can't grow. You can't change. You can't get better. I just think of so many times
Yeah.
where your willingness to say, what if I'm not right? What if there's something different? What if there's another option?
Well, we're in one right now.
Okay.
Like, I want our youth ministry to do a
Oh,
all-nighter, a lock-in. We have a lot of junior hires coming to our youth group right now. So, like, we have a disproportionate amount of youth
younger
junior hires
teenagers.
compared to high
High
schoolers.
schoolers, yes.
And so the perfect kind of event for that age is a lock-in.
Yeah.
They don't get to stay out late. You let your mom and dad drop them off here at the church, lock them in.
They can't drive nowhere.
They can't go
so-
anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like a night full of events
Yeah.
and games and movies and
Fun.
food and fun. And so my opinion, when I was a youth pastor back in the 1900s, well, really, it's
Cue the dinosaurs behind
Rah,
you.
yeah, we need to do that video. My thinking then was you have to do the lock-in or any major youth event during the school year.
Yeah.
Why would you do a youth event not during the school year? Because then kids can't invite their friends. And I'm like, we're talking to the calendar and I'm like, this is when we need to do it.
Right.
4 weeks after the first week of school, there's going to be a
Yeah.
momentum. They're going to invite. We can have the printouts and all the things. And we're talking. And then Brady, who is half my age,
But was still born in the 1900s.
she was
She's 1999, so
Whoa,
she's that's why we gotta get her in that video.
ancient. She's going to hate it.
I know.
She says, well, you know, Pastor, kids now, and she pulls her phone out, they can stay connected
All year long.
all year long. And I'm like, Oh, because like when I was youth pastoring, the only way you could invite someone was to hand them a physical piece of paper.
Or call them on their landline phone that their mom would answer and then
Yeah.
say, is Trustin there? Can I
And
talk
so
to him?
I'm like, oh, well,
Right.
you just put information into my mind that I didn't
That is
have.
different.
But the only reason I can receive it is because I think
Maybe I don't know all the
I
way.
live with an assumption of like, man, I'm probably missing something.
Right.
You know?
No, it's really great and true. And just the fact, I think that like my brain always goes to, well, why do we do that? Why do we as leaders? Because we think if we're leaders, we're supposed to be in charge. We're supposed to have the answers. We're supposed to know everything. But that is so counterintuitive to the way we actually should act. And how much do we stop and stifle by not being willing to, like, what are we afraid of? We're afraid that someone would find out that we're human.
Yeah.
What are we afraid of? I don't know.
I had a guy
Sorry.
I had a guy come up to me who's been in his discipleship journey relatively kind of new.
Yeah.
And he comes up to me this week and he says, "Hey, Pastor Trustin, I got to ask you, what translation of the Bible do you preach out of?" And I'm like, "Well, a couple different I'll preach this one out of this and this verse out of here," and I explained some of it to him. He goes, "Oh, okay." He said, "Man, I think people would like to know what translation you're speaking out of." I've been preaching for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been putting scriptures on screens for 20 years. But you know what this guy just taught me? Maybe I should put what translation
Yeah.
I'm preaching from.
Right.
Now, I've seen a million pastors do that. That's not like groundbreaking.
Right.
But he says it to me, and I'm like, because I love him and I want him to grow in his walk with the Lord, I'm
Right.
like, that's easy.
Maybe I can make a shift.
Maybe I can shift this thing I've been doing for 2 decades.
Right.
I've been doing this as long as you've been alive. But you know what? I think that you're probably right. But it's easy. The older you get, the easier it is to be set in your ways and to think that like you got experience, so deal with it.
And to something you and I are both good at, I think, is saying the thoughts of the insecurity or of the reason why we do the thing we do, and then say like, combat that for me. So like, it's easy to think, well, I don't want to put the reference. I don't want them to know that I changed 3 times in a message or whatever. But that's not even, they're excited and glad that you're reading it in multiple versions. But like, because you're willing to go, okay, what would be the reason I wouldn't want to do that? Let me talk that out. Then we're able to get rid of it, rather than what I think a lot of people would do is, no, this is the way I do it, and here's why I do it, and I'm definitive in the reason why I do it the way I do it, and I will never change. And it's like, why don't you just say the reason why you might have done it the way you've done it,
Yeah.
and let some other people give you perspective? And I think with the youth thing, like that was such a like, your willingness to say, you know what, guys, I haven't been in youth ministry for 16 years.
Yeah.
So maybe I have a different perspective of it. Let's talk about it. Allowed all the voices to speak, which then made you already a better leader by them respecting you more, but then made them better leaders by causing them to think it through all the way, give their opinion and perspective. And some of them changed their mind one way, like halfway through, and were like, oh yeah, I think maybe it's this, or wait, what about that? And in the end, what you get to is the best result because you're allowing more input. But we get so stubborn and stuck in thinking, I'm right, I know my way is best. And then it just keeps us stuck. What are some other areas of life, not ministry related, where we do this?
Where we do it right or where we do it wrong?
Where we think we think we know, and so we can't be told nothing. Or where we think we are right.
I grew up and my dad had a grill, like a barbecue charcoal grill. And I always thought that was going to be the best way to grill stuff. And then I never wanted a Blackstone. And then I don't even know why. One day I was watching a YouTube video about a Blackstone and I bought a Blackstone. I'm telling you, you couldn't steal it from me without me punching you in the head. Like, I love that thing. But it's just like, I don't know. My whole life, I had bought multiple old school style grills and was like, this is all I'm going to use. This is what a man cooks on.
Right.
And then I got this and I'm like, dude, this is incredible.
Is
I don't know if that's
amazing.
No,
it's great. I think like some of the like mom lifeness of like, for me is as a mom, there's been times and seasons where I'm like, my kids are great kids. They love God. They serve, they do. And I had to like learn as a mom that they're also like imperfect people and that like they make mistakes. And like, I can't always think, hold on.
You're allowed to cough.
It's because it's all phlegm. And then when I talk more,
It only sounds like
like I've been smoking for 40 years.
it only sounds like death in the ears of the listener.
It sounds so bad. Okay.
It's not like they're just listening to.
That's why I'm trying to pull away from like, okay. I'm trying to.
Your kids are good kids.
Yeah. And like, as moms, it's easy for us to think, oh, I've raised these kids. So therefore, because I've raised them, my name is on them. Therefore, if anybody tries to tell me that they're not doing anything not right, that they're wrong. Those people are wrong because I know my kids because I raised them. So they're the best. So, and I see this. I had to learn this as a young mom, and I now see it in people around me sometimes where I'm like, but maybe as moms, we weren't always right. Maybe we made mistakes, and maybe they're humans too, and they make mistakes. And maybe we should like collaborate with people around us so that we can help each other. What do they say? It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a family. And like, if we as moms specifically can't be okay with the fact that maybe our way isn't always the best way, and then that maybe our kids aren't always the perfect one, then we might be doing us and our kids a disservice. Is that okay to say out loud? I just am like, I think of it as we were talking, I'm like, oh man, I remember one of the first times someone presented to me that one of my kids was doing something wrong, and they were young. And I remember this feeling of like wanting to fight them. Protect my kid, and thinking like, no, I already know them. I already know. And that's not what they meant. That's not how their heart is. That's not. And I remember having to like talk it out with my husband, but then also like get okay with hearing the other side of it so that I could correct them. Cause like, what do
there's probably an edge on your kid that needed to be sanded off.
1000% there was. But if I only listened with the lens of my kids are great kids and you don't know what all they've been through. So like they're doing good. It wasn't going to do any good to help them grow. And then until I was willing to face some of my own mistakes, I was just going to say stubborn, and I was going to say prideful, and I was going to be unwilling to hear from my own kids, my own family, and people around me where I was like maybe missing the mark. And I'm like, thank God some people in my life loved me enough to help me like see that maybe my perspective wasn't always right. And so now on this side of it, I'm like, hey moms out there, like it's okay to not always be right. It's okay to sometimes,
or for your kid to sometimes be the problem.
Right. And to sit and hear the other side with a family, with another mom or another teacher and like, go, oh, maybe they're not perfect and maybe they need some correction. And like, that doesn't mean you're a failure and it doesn't mean they're a failure. It just means you're human. And and what growth can they get out of it and you get out of it if you're willing to sit in it and actually like, oh yeah, maybe I don't know all the answers. Maybe I should ask that other mom for how she did it or what her perspective is or what her experience was with her kid at that age or whatever. Instead of just thinking, I got it, I know it.
Sometimes it depends on your personality. Sometimes we think too fast or we feel too fast. And so like in that example, someone says something about your kid and you probably feel too fast, too quick. Me, I think too fast about a solution. And if we can tell our feelings, you're probably not right. If we can tell our logic, you don't have all the answers, then we're open to like external input.
It's really good. It's really good. As you're talking, I'm thinking about in our early years of like leading together and like some of the other people around us and how they would always jump quickly to like the problem. Well, the problem with that is, and they wouldn't even sit still long enough to hear like the different angles of the possibilities. And what that does is then it just gets you stuck in one lane. And so we were at the very beginning, we said like we've been able to grow so much. But I'm like, if we would have only ever seen the problems with the scenarios. Do you know how many problems came out of going to counseling and like digging deep
So many.
with my spouse and with my friends and like telling the truth about where I was at and the defaults there's a lot of problems that came out of that. But the problems were worth the end result of the healing and the solution and like the growth that came out of it. And so like sometimes we only know what we know. All the time we only know what we know. And like in the same way, the grill, I'm like, oh yeah, for so much of my life I was like, this is how you do church, this is how you do marriage, this is how you do parenting, this is how you do, because that's all I'd ever seen. But until I was willing to like make some problems by like throwing it out there and being real with my friends about what I was going through, and like if I would never have admitted to y'all, I mean, I got caught red-handed, I've shared the story 100 times, of like yelling and screaming at my husband because pictures got sent to my house that were all mashed by UPS, FedEx, whatever. I was so excited to hang them on my wall, but I couldn't because when they came, they were destroyed. I was going through a lot in my life and with my family, but then just some defaults I hadn't dealt with, and I lost it, like yelling and screaming, cursing, all the things. The person that we had a roommate that was living with us at
like
the time.
12, 13, 14 years ago.
Oh yeah, this is
Just for context.
14 years ago. It's a long time ago. We had a roommate, a young college student living with us whose boyfriend was living at your house, who then called them and said like, hey, Whitney's losing her crap. And then you guys called and were like, hey, let's go to dinner. And then at dinner, you're like, hey, you good? And I remember, and I told,
what's up?
What's up? How's things?
A little birds told me something.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, literally, it was like only 1 or 2 years into our friendship, and so at that time, it was like one of those moments of like, I can like say, oh, she overreacted. Oh, she did not hear that correctly. That's not what I said. Or I can be real about where I'm at and what I'm going through. But all I'd ever known up until that moment was to never, ever admit.
What happens in this house stays in this house.
Never, ever admit that you did anything bad, wrong, whatever. And I just think if I would have decided I'm going to stay in the lane of all I've ever known, all of the things that have happened in my marriage and my life and my family since then, where would we be today? Oh my gosh, a disaster. My kids would have moved out of my house and never came back over for dinner.
Right.
My husband and I would literally not be in.
He would just be in his industry.
He would be working so hard in his industry.
Aaron would just be in his world.
And I would be doing whatever I was doing. And we would like see each other for dinner, but it would not be the like deep friendship and intimacy that we have now. Right. No. And because I was in a current spiral that had I not dealt with it, I'm not saying I would have like left my husband.
Had you not admitted, hey, I kind of screwed up right now.
And I'm like internally freaking out and don't know what to do about it and don't know how to deal with it. So it's just coming out in explosions all the time. I would just be a secret Sunday church lady who then screamed and was explosive and volatile at home that nobody knew except my family.
Oof.
And
you know what? If you are that, God loves you, but you don't have to stay that way.
That's it.
You don't have to stay like that.
That's it. I thought in that season I was doing good. I really thought like I'm living a happy life and I'm being obedient to God and we serve every Sunday and we're faithful to the tithe and like we're doing everything. I did not understand the level of obedience I had not yet fully stepped into because I hadn't fully stepped into submission and surrender. And what I had to just be willing to do that I was not wanting to do was admit that I didn't know and that I was wrong.
Yeah.
And like, it can be as simple as like, maybe I don't know about youth ministry the same as I did 20 years ago, or it can be as deep as like, hey, I don't know what to do anymore because I'm stuck in this like same pattern that I can't get out of. But we have to be willing to just be like, maybe I can admit that I don't know, and maybe I can admit that I might be wrong. What is the way you said it at the beginning? Maybe I'm not right.
Yeah, maybe I'm not right.
Then some healing and some breakthrough and some change and some growth can come. And so I'm just like, I believe so strongly in what we're talking about because it's literally the story of my life of like, until I was willing to say, oh, maybe I'm not right here. Because before that I was just holding on to, I'm the only one who's right. And that's why I'm so freaking mad all the time is because I'm the only one who's right. No, I wasn't right at all.
You know, anytime I've made a jerk of myself somewhere, it's because I walk in thinking I'm so right.
Absolutely.
I walk in, whether it's like with someone I love or a waiter.
Yep.
Like there's been times that I've been steaming mad over stuff. And then it's just like, and then Rachel will be like, hey, Tristan, you didn't say no pickles.
Right.
You didn't say no pickles on your,
Right.
like from the smallest thing to the
Right.
biggest thing. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just off. I remember when I was a little boy, my dad told me a story that I don't think I've ever told you. It lives in my mind. And I don't know if my dad told it to me as a made up story or if it happened to him and his dad. I don't know.
Okay.
So which one should I tell it? Should I tell it like it happened to him and his dad, or should I tell it like it is imaginary?
Tell it like it's imaginary.
Okay,
because
'cause
if
I
it
can't- I
didn't
can't-
happen, he'll be like, that did not happen.
I can't
and so
remember.
we don't want to.
My dad told me a story about how there was one day a dad and his son were doing some work next to a freeway.
Okay.
Their house is like next to this big freeway, and there's a big bridge, and they're out in the backyard. And here comes this giant truck carrying on the bed like a giant piece of machinery, like a wide load, big piece of machinery. It's got all these extra cars with it, like kind of escorting it.
Caravan.
A caravan transporting this giant piece of equipment. And it gets to this bridge, and it pulls up to this bridge, and it's like literally an inch too tall. It can't fit under the bridge. And so they back it up and they try it on this lane. They back it up. They go up around the ramp. They go into incoming traffic, try to go, and it won't fit under the bridge. And by now there's police and fire blocking the thing. There's a giant traffic jam, and nobody can figure out how to get this giant truck under the bridge. And so this little boy and this dad and this little boy standing up on the hill watching this happen. And the little boy says to his dad, "Dad, what if they just let some air out of the tires of the truck?" And so the dad looks at the little boy, and so they walk down the hill, and they just go up to some man who they've observed looks like he's in charge. The little boy pulls on his shirt and says, "Sir, what if you just let some air out of the tires of the truck?" And the guy looks at him, and he looks at the truck, and he like calls a couple dudes over, and he points to this little boy, and then they all go and they let some air out of the tires of the truck, and the truck drives under the bridge. They pump the tires back up and on their way. My dad told me that story as a kid. And it spoke so much to me because I was a little boy at the point that he told it to me. And so it's like, hey, little boy, you have good ideas.
Right.
Like, I could cry right now telling this. I haven't thought of the story in forever. You're a little boy. You have good ideas. Share them. Don't just hold this gold in you. But now that I'm the guy in charge of moving the machinery,
Now you have to listen to the little boy's ideas.
I sure had better think that Brady has got something to say. I just asked McKinley about a sermon series or sermon title. I'm traveling to preach something, and they want my title. And I just asked McKinley. And you know what she said? She's right.
Yeah.
I had this other idea. I had 3 ideas. 2 of them are like bang, bang, bang. They're like, what's it called?
Alliteration.
They're alliterations, and they're real punchy. And then the other one was my third one. It's kind of meh. And she goes, "This is way better." And you know what I have to do? I have to listen because the audience I'm speaking to is all 20-year-olds.
Right.
And so she knows. And so, hey, men moving machinery, there might be somebody else who don't know nothing that has the answer to your problem. If we could just put our ego down for a minute and let the air out of the tires.
That's really good.
Dang.
That's really
I was
good.
in my flow state.
You were Andrew, it's like, y'all. It's true. It's true. It's really good. And as you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, but we have to be willing to listen to the little boys around, like the little boys and girls around us, and not think we know so much. And that, but also like, how much more are we actually being strong leaders when we do that? I think that's the piece that's like, that's so we miss. We don't understand how much more we're respected and revered when we are willing to admit that we don't know. And we're also afraid that instead we'll be found out. That will be found out as like
A fraud
and not real and pretend. And it's like, if we all could just admit that we all just don't know what the junk we're doing and we're all just out here trying our best, then we could actually like probably get to the more that God has for us if we would just be willing to say, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then like actually choose the best answer. Yeah, it's so good.
Solomon in the Bible is the wisest
Yep.
king that ever existed in Israel, the wisest man ever. I could go on a big tangent about why. I don't need to tell you the story.
No.
That's what the Bible says. But yet Solomon still had a council of advisors.
Yep.
Which is pretty crazy that you're the smartest dude in the room tenfold, but you still find it pertinent to allow other people to advise you. So I'll just submit to you. If you don't have anybody that's allowed to advise, man, you're going through life handicapped.
Yeah.
You're going through life only in your wisdom, and like that's not that great. Like right now, we're doing a sermon series, It's Not Fair. And like I had the idea for the Scantron, but I didn't turn it into the graphic that it is.
Right.
I didn't make it all that it has become with the Roland video and all the, like, and the notes. That was not my idea to do the notes printout page on a Scantron. You might have a lot to offer, but you don't have all to offer.
Right.
And so living with I might not know is going to protect you. Because sometimes we get offended because we think we know. Or I'll meet people that some one little thing will happen and they'll get mad and leave. I'm leaving the church, or I'm stepping out and I'm quitting this thing or that. And it's like, okay, but maybe your emotions went too fast. And like you just need to come and have a talk instead of coming with a decision.
Well, and I wonder, like, it's so lonely at the top, and I'm like, but is it? And we used to say, well, it's only lonely if you don't take
somebody
anyone
with
with
you.
anyone with you, or if you only don't go there together or whatever. But like, I was thinking, you just mentioned McKinley, and I was thinking about when, I mean, it's been 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
You're telling the couch story?
Yes.
It's so good.
But you'll tell it better than me. But
Tell it.
But it.
Unless you're sick and you want me to.
No, we were looking for a specific size couch for this very small, like, mother's room space, closet space that we had at our first building. And we went to IKEA and we've looked through all the different couches.
Every chair at IKEA we
every
looked at with tape
chair,
measures.
We're just measuring it and trying and da-da-da-da. And then McKinley says at one point, and McKinley is
7.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 9, 8, 7, 8. Yeah, she's young. And she says, well, don't we have a couch that is exactly this size
In the other
classroom of the little kids' room that we could move in there and then get a bigger couch for the kids' room instead? And we were like, what? Now tell it. Now I'm coughing. You tell it.
And so we're like, it's like we had forgotten that in this other kids' room, when we bought the building,
right,
it had a little brown leather couch in it.
Tiny leather couch, which is literally what we were looking for.
And it was too small for the room that it was in, because it was a bigger kid room.
Right.
And we've been at IKEA forever.
Yeah.
We were online trying to find a couch for this room.
Yes.
And I remember looking at McKinley being like, and I think we called somebody who was back in the building.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that little brown, will you go measure that? It was the perfect size.
Yeah.
And then we bought a bigger couch that was super on sale for that other room that we had for years. It was that gray one that folded out, remember?
Yes.
By the time we were done, it looked nasty.
It was gross. We
Kids
threw
had
it
been
away.
puked on and everything. But it was like this little 7-year-old.
Yeah.
You know why? It was the room that she had to go to kids' church in.
Right.
And she just came to work with mom.
Yeah. And what I remember is 2 things. You heard her, didn't dismiss her, made a call and was like, you're actually right, and like affirmed her. Then we used that couch in that room until forever. Mm-hmm. And so took the idea and like actually, you didn't go.
And then I told the story for years.
Forever.
Still am honoring.
Which then developed her into.
I got something to say.
Because it was as you're telling that story, I'm like, oh, that makes sense why you are the way that you are. If your dad instilled that in you years ago, then no wonder you've always spoke up in rooms that you maybe were too small for.
Right.
Because you just were like, no, I'm supposed to. That's because I have good ideas.
Right.
Which is exactly what McKinley has become and became and all of those things because someone else affirmed that in her rather than the flip of it, which is kids are, hey, little kid, you're to be seen and not heard, or oh yeah, that's a cute idea. Yeah, we'll think about that one. Let's keep moving on and go find the right couch and let's go. And like I think about it as you're telling it, stories I know right now where I'm like, dang, why can't we all just say, hey, you're right, that's a good idea. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to look into that more, and then affirm that in other people, which then develops more leaders. Because the only reason why Solomon had that wise counsel is because he found that wise counsel.
Right.
Somebody didn't.
He listened enough to know these guys are trustworthy.
These are the right ones to put around me, rather than they didn't. It's not like somebody else brought him a wise counsel.
Yeah.
He chose his wise counsel, and I'm like, if we get so small-minded and thinking I have to be a leader or I have to be the one in charge or I have to know it, then we're going to be all alone by ourselves because we didn't listen long enough to anybody else around us to help us and to be connected to us. And so, yes, you're telling it. I was like, oh yeah, I have to tell the couch story.
I got
haven't told that in a
I got
while.
2 more stories to tell.
Okay, tell it.
So I don't forget the second one. It's stickers.
Okay. I was wondering if you were going to tell
The
that.
first one, I remember when I was a freshman in Bible college, I go home over a weekend with a friend of mine whose dad was a pastor of a giant church in Houston.
Okay.
Huge, like biggest church I may have ever been to at that point in my life.
Okay.
And so I go home with this guy. I'm going to stay the weekend at his house and go to his dad's church on Sunday. And so on the Friday night, his mom and dad take us out for dinner. And so we're just at dinner, and I'm kind of like, oh, weird, pastors eat dinner too, you know, because I
Right,
didn't grow
right.
up with ministry parents.
Yeah.
And so the dad, he says to me, Tristan, tell me a story. It's like, what do you mean? He's like, tell me a story of something God's done in your life. Well, I just had something pretty crazy, which I don't really need to get into. It'll distract from what I'm trying to say. So I told him the story of something that God did in my life. And he's sitting there, he's like, that's unbelievable. And he asked me a couple questions about it. He's like, wow, that's so good. And then we just start eating. And like, I'm like, oh, that was cool. He wanted to hear about my story. So then Saturday goes by, we do whatever. Sunday, we go to church. And the dude gets up to preach to all these people. He welcomes everybody. He says, I want everyone to know that we have a great man of God among us today. He's talking, I'm thinking there's a guest speaker. Great man of God. This is a man of insight, a man of wisdom, a man who studies the word. And I want to introduce to you pastor. It might have been the first time I was ever introduced as pastor. I wasn't a pastor. I did not currently work at a church. Pastor Trustin Babel. Trustin, stand up. And I'm like, what? So I stand up and I like turn around and I like wave to the church. He says, I want to tell y'all a story that Trustin told me at dinner on Friday night. And he tells my exact story, but he does it in a like mature, how I would know.
Yeah.
He tells the story, man.
Yeah.
He nails it. And then he throws a couple scriptures on it, and then he preaches a sermon, and he wraps it up with my story at the end, and the altars are full and people are crying. And he comes down, he puts his arm on me, and goes, that was a pretty good story. Huh. And I just remember being like, I have stuff to say.
Yeah.
Like, I have things that I can
You have
use.
sentences.
But also his willingness
Yeah.
to listen,
Right. Right.
how good it was for him, how good it was for the people, and how good it was for me,
Right.
makes me want to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's why when Michael Bennett says something in staff meeting, I tell the church when Michael said it, Michael Bennett's the one who said first time human.
Right.
It's the reason that I try to,
Yeah.
because we should be listening. It's absurd for the church to think that every word I ever said on stage, I came up with alone in my brain.
Right. Right.
I have a great team around me. I have 10 million hours of me listening to other people's sermons.
Yeah.
I have 1,000 books that I've read, all of this stuff, and it comes together. But that's just because we have to live with the thinking, I might not have the answer.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's really good. And thank God that like God intentionally puts us in spaces and places for us to see that. And like he knew what he was doing in putting you in that room, in that space so that you could see that. So then but thank God your heart was in a place to then duplicate it and receive that. So now you're literally reproducing that everywhere because the heart of this house is, we say it all the time, this house is built on sons and daughters.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason it can be built on them is not the way that you and I grew up.
No.
Of this house is built on the blood, sweat, and tears of move that
Move the
chair,
chairs
boy.
and shut up.
Yeah, and babysit the kids, girl.
Right.
Like, but instead of
They have something to say.
they have something to say.
There's
They have something to
perspective.
contribute. They have a perspective that is worth hearing, and it's necessary to reach the next generation and to change the future of like how we do church and all of those things. And
Yeah.
so
the only way old dogs can learn new tricks is from new dogs.
it's true.
That's good.
That's good.
So if you're an old dog, you need to find a young dog.
And be willing to
Find a
hear.
young dog.
Yeah.
They got something to say.
yeah. And don't
Now, that
always,
doesn't mean they're going to be the boss of your entire existence.
no, but don't always be trying to teach them. I think
Right.
that's our, you and I work with a lot of people that are a lot younger than us. And like, if I go into every room thinking I'm going to teach them something today, then I'm going to miss out on so many things that I can learn.
I mean, Enrique should be unwilling to work for me.
Correct. Right. Enrique's way smart. Enrique's got way more degrees than I ever thought about having.
But his heart is a heart of humility.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, I can learn something from him here.
Yeah.
And I can teach him something over there. And
Right.
so that's how we have
That's
to do
really
it.
good. Okay, tell the sticker story.
So Rachel and I were in Seattle. I was preaching at some kind of
Something.
conference. And then we drove over the like most beautiful mountain range. I don't even know what it was. It was in the winter. And we went to Judah Smith's church. And has Judah had a big...
No, he's good. Fine.
He hasn't had a big...
No.
Okay,
No.
good. Okay, good job, Judah. Keep it up. And so we go to his church on a Sunday, and we're getting the tour, and I meet their kids pastor.
Handsomest man that Trustin's ever seen.
I'm telling you,
He must have been wearing that cologne that we were talking about.
I'm telling
earlier.
you, Judah Smith's kids pastor, circa like 2017.
Yeah.
Is the handsomest man I've ever
6'5",
seen.
blue eyes, not in finance, in kids man, but
Dude,
so,
how is Chris Hemsworth
right? So handsome.
the kids pastor of this
Right.
church? So, anyways, this guy comes out, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at Rachel, and I'm like, do you see this guy? And she's like, this is their kids pastor. I'm like, did this dude just get off the cover of GQ? And then his wife comes down the aisle.
She's
and,
beautiful.
She's like sashaying in her dress. Like, what is going on at this
Sashay?
church? So anyways, they're giving Dumpy me a tour around their building. I'm in this red sweatshirt. I'm not. It's so stupid. And so they're explaining all these things in their kids ministry to me. And what they did at that time is every Sunday when a volunteer shows up, they have a big sticker, like 6-inch round sticker that they put on their shirt that
Yeah.
says like kids volunteer.
serve or
And they
whatever.
write their name on or something,
Yeah.
kid sticker. And I'm like, this is genius.
Yeah.
The handsome man. This is
You
genius.
were wooed by the handsomeness of the man. I think.
It's like, I love this.
Was
And so
the man wearing the sticker?
I don't know.
Okay, go.
I was
Sorry.
amazed by this man. And so, no sus, but this guy was handsome. And so I get back to church, it's our staff meeting this week. And I'm like, guys, I got it. Because we had been buying t-shirts, and t-shirts were expensive.
Yeah.
Or no. We've been
we had
doing
not.
badges.
We've been doing
We've
badges.
been doing badges,
This is
and
what
people
happened.
forgot the badges
Yeah.
or lost the badges, or
Yeah.
kids were getting choked by the badges. I don't know. And so I'm like, stickers. We're going to print stickers.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the whole table looked at me like I was an idiot. And I got a little like, what are y'all doing what are y'all doing? You're good. You don't like this idea. This idea is genius. They're super cheap. You get a big roll every week. Bam, you put a sticker on the person, and they do it. Now, at this point, I don't think, did I have kids? Yeah, I had kids.
Yeah,
But they were still real little and weren't in school yet.
Yeah.
And so Whitney, and there was another lady named Jen at the table, and they say, Tristan, or Pastor, whatever they said, do you know what happens when you put a sticker on a t-shirt and throw it in the washing machine?
Accidentally throw it in the washing machine.
I said, no, what happens? And then they
It
went on
ruins
to
your shirt.
It ruins the shirt. It turns into goo. You can't get it off. And then Whitney gets on her soapbox about how stickers are trashy. And she's like, nobody wants a sticker. Nobody wants a sticker.
No one over the age of 6 wants a sticker.
Now, right now, still like the sticker idea.
I know you do.
And I might try to bring it back. No, and so we try to do this thing with t-shirts. We start
Well,
buying
we
everybody
ended up
t-shirts. But
doing
now we don't do nothing.
No, yes, we do.
Now we just let any hobo,
not true at all.
any dude from under the bridge into our kids
not true
kids
at
ministry.
No, now they do the badges, and that works well. At that time,
What
in
I'm
that
saying-
season, our people, no, I'm saying what we decided in that season at that time was a lot of our people, they wanted to wear the t-shirts. They were excited about the idea of t-shirts. And so we did the t-shirts and they loved it. And it went great for a long time until we moved buildings and COVID.
Well,
and
what
blah,
started
blah, blah,
happening
blah.
is more fashionable people started wanting to come to the church.
Yes. At the time.
And so they don't want to like not be able to flex their outfit and have to wear a
Correct.
bright green t-shirt to church.
Right.
And so anyways,
Because now we be fitted up. What do we throw fits? That's what we do. Now we throw fits.
Oh, she threw a fit when I said sticker for sure. And so I just remember thinking it's such a good idea, but then the entire mom table was like, no, nobody, don't do stickers. We hate stickers. And I was like, okay, I guess my man brain.
It's really funny because now I'm like, whatever. If that's what you wanted to do, I'd be like, all right, let's try it, see what happens.
You're down with the stickers?
I mean, I'm not down with it.
Stickers
but
2026.
I'm not. I'm just like, it's just funny that like, because I remember fighting for it with you, like not fighting you, but like fighting for the other side and thinking like, okay, I can't believe he's like letting us all disagree with him, but we are, and okay, it's going good. Okay, this is fine. Like it was one of the first.
It was one of the first
like leadership dynamic situations where it was like setting what it did and why we still talk about it to this day was it set a precedent
of I let my dream die.
for the table of like, hey, we're allowed to brainstorm for real. Because we've all worked for people who want you to brainstorm as long as everything that you brainstorm goes along with their idea.
Correct.
And it was the first time that we had like an open dialogue, and everything changed from then forward where everybody actually said what they thought, which is the goal.
Because it was a long time ago.
It was long. That was the goal, and that's the reason why we talk about it still, is because it set a cultural precedence of like,
you can kill my sacred cow.
and when we walk out of this room, we're all in agreement. But at this table, we're going to fight for what's the right answer. And we literally today had conversations around what we're doing, the next few things around the table in a group of 18, and had healthy, conflicted dialogue about what's the right idea to wrestle out to get to where we're going.
Yeah, Team Sunday's coming up. And normally on Team Sunday, we do turf and bleachers and footballs and people in jerseys and people in referee uniforms blowing whistles. And I like that. I'm like, I think that's fun. But our team explained to me why in this season and what we're teaching, not this time.
Right.
And I'm like, y'all are all right.
Yeah. And it was
That
great.
doesn't mean you can't wear a jersey on Super Bowl Sunday at church. Wear your jersey if you want to.
I might still wear mine. I'm
But
just kidding.
it just shifted because, all y'all, what you're saying is probably smarter than what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And so it set a cultural, and so like maybe if you are leading in an area or leading your home and you find yourself hitting a wall of the same frustration over and over again, maybe you need to evaluate, can I just not be told nothing? Am I just thinking that I'm right all the time? Is everyone around me afraid to say what they actually think? Are they afraid to give me their perspective or tell me anything because I've in the past made them feel like I'm right, you're wrong, shut up?
This is going to be a really hard internal self question.
It is.
Do the majority of the people in your past, do you think they're stupid?
Oh gosh. That's a great way to say it.
If the majority of people that you've interacted with in your past that aren't necessarily in your life or around as much anymore, and you're like, man, they're stupid. Maybe there's a little pride ego that has to be pointed at and wrestled with.
It's great.
That's all. That's a hard question to sit with.
Well, it's a great way to ask it.
Because if everybody's stupid,
Because the way I just asked it, if you don't want to be introspective or self-reflective or self-aware, is real easy to be like, nah, that's not real. But the way you just asked it goes, gong. Oops.
I'm doing
My
it.
bad. I might be doing it.
I might be full of ego and pride and think I'm always right.
Well, we love you.
But guys, we're just tugging into more.
That's all.
Hey, you know what we haven't asked in a while?
What?
Is if you have any questions that you want us to address,
true.
hit us up.
We have one in the chamber that we have to do that has been asked of us, but we'll get there. And
Somebody else just asked me. Christian just asked me. one on Sunday.
Christian, email it. Don't
Yeah, I
ask on
forgot.
Sunday. If you ask us either
already
one
forgot.
anything on Sunday,
You're allowed, but
You
what I need to
can.
say is email it to me.
but
Or,
if you want us to remember it on Monday, you have to also email it to
yeah, I'm sermon drunk on Sunday. I already said a lot of words. I can't handle any more words.
Love y'all.
Love you guys so much. See ya.
Yeah,
Pray
hopefully
for Whitney.
Sunday. We'll see.
We'll definitely see you Sunday
Unless we don't.
unless Whitney wins. Bye.